Hey there everyone, Aaron here. Welcome to another episode of Gideon's Tactical. Today we're going to be doing a field test on the BK16 and we're going to really go through the ins and outs of this Becker tweener blade that I believe out of the three, the BK15, 16, 17, is going to probably be the best for wilderness tasks for those of you out there. I think this is going to have the best capabilities with this full flat grind, with its nice drop point, just have a lot of, features that are really going to be worth purchasing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the BK16. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and start out with the blade here. What we have is an actual cutting edge on the BK16 of 4.25 inches, perfect for most camp tasks, most bushcraft tasks. It's not a survival knife. Any knife you have you can survive with, but you're going to want something a little bit bigger to be your go-to survival knife. But it's a great companion blade, good for light hikes or bushcraft and things like that, or pair it with a hatchet or a larger blade. So what we have again is that 4.25 inches. It is a full flat grind, and that full flat grind is really going to make it an amazing slicer, not only through the wood that you see around us here and going through all sorts of wood processing tasks, but also food prep. I've found full flat grinds work a lot better than either Scandi or saber grinds when it comes to food preparation, cutting through fruit and vegetables around your campsite, those type of things. The BK16, because of its full flat grind, is going to do an amazing job with that. It is made out of 1095 Crovan high carbon steel with a Rockwell hardness of 56 to 58, 56 along the back spine to give it strength and flexibility, and then 58 along the edge, so it's multiple heat treats to help keep the edge real nice and long. And what I've found is that the K-Bars 1095 that they're using is amazing. It's very easy for you to get a hair-popping, shaving sharp edge on it, ground in at 20 degrees, and it's very easy to maintain, and it holds a good edge as well. Nice drop point design there, good sweep up. It is 0.165 inches thick, so it's less than 3/16, just a hair over 5/32. So that's really good, I think, for this size as well. You're not going to have to necessarily worry about it being super thick at this size, and that makes it easier to not only slide through wood, but also man-made materials like rope. Rope cutting was super easy with this knife. It was just slid right through nylon rope and materials, as well as your bushcraft tasks, making feather sticks, being able to carve and just make, shavings for a fire and prep for that was very, very easy with this BK16. Also really easy with the BK16 because it is full tang constructed with handle scales on either side, which are going to make it very strong, capable, and then that nice thickness, not too thick, not too thin, is going to be able to basically baton anything that your blade can span. If you can get your blade to span the piece of wood, your BK16 will be able to split it without any trouble at all, and it's going to be able to take that type of abuse, make that kindling for you for the fire, and really be able to handle stuff without having to have a bigger blade necessarily for, in my mind, the type of batoning normally you should be doing to get the kindling going, to get your fire going. The BK16 can definitely handle medium to light batoning, no problem. All right, let's take a look at the sheath here. You're going to get this exact same sheath on all the Becker tweener line, the exact same size and dimensions. Now, for a production sheath, this is not a bad product. It's not an amazing product, but it's not bad. And I'm going to show you the good, and then I'll show you the bad. So the good part about this sheath is right out of the gate, you got two button snaps right here that are really nice and well designed, real thick, strong. They're right up against the guard, right where they should be, so the knife's not going to accidentally slide out. Very light rattle, almost non-existent rattle, so overall very silent in its stealth capabilities, if you will. It's not going to make a lot of noise if you're hiking or running and gunning, no matter how you're carrying your tweener, particularly your BK16. Then it has a third set of rivets back here, so you could make this jump ready if you so desired. You could run some paracord around there and make a third lashing point. Then you got a nice little Velcro pocket. You could do a fire steel, tiny little multi-tool. It would probably fit a juice, but that's about it. Leatherman tool or some sort of water purification. You got this little toggle right here that you can run paracord through, and then three leg lashing rivets right there, another little lashing point, molly along the back, and then a nice little toggle that you can easily grab with a button and Velcro, so you can put it on your belt without taking your belt off. This is all nice. There's no complaints here so far. The problem that I have is that it's made in China and it's really low quality nylon. We previously here on the channel have reviewed the BK15, and that sheath fell apart in about 4 or 5 months. The hole down here, we got a big huge hole in the pocket without even putting anything in there. It started to tear. Some of the stuff, some of the stitching and things like that just really began to fall apart real quick. So this is not going to last a very long time from everything that I've found with my other BK15 that we've already previously reviewed here on the channel. The other thing to note too, it's got a little plastic insert in here, but it's just a really big sheath for the knife. You can see that's where the knife ends, and we got about 3 inches almost down here of extra nylon space that we don't really need with the sheath. So we will eventually be upgrading to KYDEX for the BK16, but for a production, nylon sheath, there are way worse ones out there on the market, and this will get the job done till you can, fork over the money to either make a KYDEX one yourself, purchase one, or make a leather sheath for your BK16. All right, let's go ahead and look at the handle here on the BK16. What you have from the front to the back is a total length of 4.75 inches. They have Gryvery handle scales, just like all the Becker products. You can get them in black or brown. It comes with a set of each, so you can decide which color you prefer. And it is extremely ergonomic, guys. Very, very ergonomic. Feels very comfortable in my large size hands. I wear large size gloves. You can see I got plenty of room to spare back here, even when I'm wearing gloves. And all the grips I was doing, guys, hammer grips, push grips, for making feather sticks and that type of stuff, when you put your piece of wood up against a log or, a stump or whatever. It was very easy to do that type of stuff without any hot spots, as well as chest grips. Chest grips and chest pulls were very easy for me to do. And any way that I held this knife over the multiple different types of tasks I was putting this through, notching, that type of stuff, making notches, for a tent pole or a tent peg or a snare trap, things like that. It was very easy to do with the handle and never had any hot spots or, I don't like how this feels. Very comfortable. Reminds me a lot of the Tops Hog in its ergonomics. You have a really nice lanyard hole back there. You can double run a paracord through there, as well as the exposed tang on the back there, so you can easily do pommeling of tent pegs and things like that. Now the Gryvery is not super textured. It is, again, very ergonomic any way I hold it, but it's just not a super grippy material. It does feel like you're kind of holding plastic. I never felt like it was going to slip out of my hand. And when it comes to stabbing in particular, even though it does have really good jimping up here, not too aggressive, not too weak, and it does have a really good finger guard down here, because there isn't as much traction on the Gryvery, I wouldn't see this BK16 as a tactical knife, also with its drop point. The BK17 has a clip point, and I could see you doing good stabbing tasks with that. This will do the stabbing task. I just wouldn't, if you're looking for a lightweight tactical blade, this would not be the one. And if you do buy a BK17 with the clip point, then I would recommend immediately upgrading to micarta or G10 so that you get that extra grip, and then it would be a fantastic tactical blade. But it'll get stabbing tasks done, but just the way that there isn't a lot of traction on the Gryvery doesn't, in my mind, lend it to be the best for stabbing tasks. It can definitely handle it with the strong tip and the jimping and the finger groove right here, but not the best. Overall, though, amazing. I'd say 10 out of 10 on the ergonomics here on the BK16 and the whole tweener line. All right, guys, I want to run in 2 other knives here for us, just to kind of talk about how you're going to spend your money and what you're eventually going to probably want to have to do with your BK16 and the pros and cons of owning one versus some other knives on the market of similar size. Now, all 3 of these knives have the exact same cutting edge of 4.25 inches. They are all high carbon. These 2 down here, the BK16 and the Tops Bob that we have here, are 1095, and then this is a Survive Knives SK4 with S7 tool steel. It is a high carbon, but it's an upgrade over 1095, holds its edge better and is a little bit tougher and will take more abuse than the 1095 of the other 2 blades. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about price. First off, you're paying about 65 to 70 bucks for your BK16. For that price, I think it is an extremely amazing value and a home run. You're going to get a lot of use out of it. The downside to that is that over time, if this is your go-to blade, you are going to want to upgrade the handles from the Gryvery to either micarta or G10, and you are going to want to upgrade the sheath. The sheath will eventually fall apart, and you're going to want to get either a KYDEX one, similar to what a Bob would have, or similar to what the SK4 would have. So you're going to have to, over time, I don't believe out of the gate you will, but over time you're going to want to invest in upgrading your BK16, and at that point then it kind of becomes an issue and you have to decide, is it worth it for you? Because with G10 handle scales or micarta handle scales that you could get on the Bob, and again the KYDEX Sheath, that's $105. You're going to have to spend about another $65 to get an upgrade handle scales of either micarta or G10 and a KYDEX Sheath, unless you can make them yourself. That's what you're going to spend. So you're going to spend almost $120 to $130 to upgrade your BK16 to a KYDEX Sheath and some form of upgraded handle scales, just because of not the quality of traction that you could get versus the Gravity ones that are in front of you. So at that point now you're running your BK16. Once you upgrade it, it's going to be more expensive than your Tops Bob. On the flip side, your SK4 is going to run you, I paid I think $160, I think they're $150 now, $160, right around that price. You're only about $40 away from purchasing a Survive knives that comes all fully prepared with micarta, with a KYDEX Sheath, and with an upgraded tool steel that will be a better overall steel for you than 1095. So those are things to consider, because in the long run that is what you're going to probably want to do if your BK16 is your go-to blade. Now what I like above both of these other blades here, why I like the BK16 so much, is really the full flat grind. The Survive knives has a high saber grind. It's the exact same thickness, just over 1/8 of an inch thick. These are exactly the same thickness. So it's gonna be a little bit of a better food prep and slicer than a saber ground blade like the Survive knives, and then this modified Scandi grind, same kind of thing. This is going to be able to slide better through material, and particularly food, you know, vegetables, fruit, you're cutting meat, those type of things around a campsite, which a knife of this size you'll probably be doing more so than with other bigger blades. And on top of that, with the Bob is 3/16 of an inch thick, and you can see that's definitely got a thicker stock there than the BK16 does. So that's something to consider, and it weighs more as well. These two weigh about the same, right around 6.5 ounces. This one's going to weigh you 9.5 ounces, so it's heavier too. So for food prep, kind of more camp tasks, the BK16 is actually the best out of the three here when it comes to the slicing capability and going through those type of materials. For wilderness use, you're not going to notice a difference, and sometimes the saber grind can actually be a little bit better out there in the wilderness for, you know, batoning and chopping. Even though with these knives, because of how short the blade is and how light they are, you're not going to be doing a lot of batoning. You're just going to be doing small splitting tasks, and you're not going to be doing a lot of chopping either. So those are just some things I wanted to kind of throw out there. But if you only have $65, $70 to spend, guys, the BK16 is a fantastic buy, an amazing blade, and I love using it. I mean, it is awesome to use. Just keep in mind that you're going to probably have to pay the same price that you paid for the knife. You're going to have to pay that over time, or you're going to want to pay that to upgrade the handle scales and upgrade to everybody. So you've seen the BK16 in action. I think this is the perfect size for a companion blade. I think that it would definitely be worth a purchase for you, particularly if you like Becker products. You got a price point of $65 to $70, and in my mind, this is really the size. I don't really like to go smaller than this when I'm comparing a knife with either a larger wilderness blade, like let's say an Essie Hungalis or a BK9, or a hatchet. You know, this is really the ideal size, under 5 inches, and this is a very lightweight, ergonomic, and a fantastic blade to either just have on you or customize. This is a very easy knife to customize as well. So in the future, you guys will be seeing a video of us stripping it, putting custom handle scales, and making a custom KYDEX sheath for the BK16. But in the meantime, guys, I would highly recommend, this is going in the Hall of Champions, the BK16 is where it's at and totally worth a purchase for you. Thanks so much for watching. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching this particular episode of Gideon's Tactical. Please subscribe, comment, like the videos, share the videos, and check out our Facebook page. You can find it on the YouTube homepage of Gideon's Tactical. Like our Facebook page, where you'll get updates of upcoming videos, you'll get photos, as well as upcoming gear, new gear releases, you know, that products and companies that are released, as well as behind the scenes footage and bloopers that you'll never see make it to YouTube. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.